The definition of makeover: a complete transformation or remodeling of something, especially a person's hairstyle, makeup, or clothes. It's a topic that has led to multiple top-tier shows, like What Not to Wear, Queer Eye, In Japan, Property Brothers. The list goes on. Look, you get the idea. There's a lot. There's a lot of shows. But I think there's still room for one more. I probably should have thought of a name. Now, what is this show, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. You see, I have a neglected old tank right at the entrance of my apartment, and sitting right next to it is my housemate's freshwater tank. And right now, his looks better than mine, and I can't allow that. To make matters worse, I have some important guests coming over in just 5 days, which means I have less than a week to turn this tank into something absolutely beautiful. And by beautiful, I mean we are going to turn this into an incredible... Oh, come on, you didn't think I was just gonna tell you what we're turning this into? That takes away all the fun. But here, I'll give you some ideas at least. We could turn it into a mangrove tank. We could turn it into a macroalgae tank. We can make this into a pico frag tank. We can transform this into a more beautiful display tank. We could get like 2 more tanks, stack them on top of each other, create like a cascading waterfall tank. That's an option. So let's get to it. You know, my boy Teddy once said, when you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot and hold on. I have no idea what that means or why it was listed as an inspirational quote, but you know what is at the end of its rope? It's that tank over there. Now, to the untrained eye, this may not look like an unhealthy tank, but if you look closer, you'll notice a couple things. Like 1, we've got some bubble algae. That's that algae that looks like bubbles. Problem number 2, my snail escargot is now escargon. Rest in peace, brother. You might have noticed right next to that dead snail was aptasia. Yeah, that's a lot of aptasia. And this is actually what I think I'm most worried about here. Because when the entire internet actually agrees that something is terrible to have in your tank, it's probably bad to have one in your tank, let alone hundreds like I have. I'm straight up gardening this. I mean, look it. I've got a nice aptasia garden right here. I've got aptasia even growing straight up on the coral. Not only that, dude, I got aptasia growing on Snailer Moon. Yeah, the obvious solution here is to just throw this tank away and completely start anew. Okay, yeah, no, that's too heavy to move right now. I'm joking. I don't have the budget for that. Or the strength, apparently. So we're on to the backup plan, which is we are going to deep clean this tank and get rid of everything that I do not need in the updated makeovered tank. Is makeovered a word? Transformed tank. So to start strong, we're gonna start with the hardest task, which is having a little funeral for escargot. Bye, buddy. Oh my God, this is why I was on the B team in basketball. Nowhere to go. So it's a new day. I may or may not have taken a nap and didn't do anything else, which means we are now 24 hours behind schedule and it is time to get to work. And then that's it for today. My idea was if I did a really big water change today, then maybe tomorrow when I move the corals into some new water, they wouldn't get totally shocked. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but I guess we'll see tomorrow. Good morning, you guys. It's time to get to work. Plan for today is actually really simple. There's only 2 parts of my old tank that are going to end up making it to the new tank, which is the tank and the corals. But if we want to reuse this tank, we're going to need to deep clean it. And to deep clean it, we're going to need a place to put the corals in the meantime. I got just the thing. Check this out. You don't recognize this? Well, to jog your memory, those of you guys who have been subscribed to the channel for a while now, you may remember when I bred some sexy shrimp. This is what I let them grow out in. You can actually see there's still some in there. Now, instead of a grow out tank, this is going to become my temporary coral holding tank plus grow out. You see, the real benefit of this tank, though, is that this also gives me time to observe the corals for any aptasia that is hitchhiking along, and then murder it so it doesn't make it into my new tank. But we're getting ahead of ourselves right now, so let's quickly rewind to just getting the corals in the tank. Okay, guys, so the coral's been in the temporary holding tank for like an hour now, which means everything's opened back up. We can get started murdering these aptasia. And there's actually a number of ways that we can do this. Let me tell you a couple. You can use Bergia nudibranchs, peppermint shrimp, copper band butterfly, which is perfect for a pico tank. You can inject lemon juice or boiling water. You can use a laser. Yes, literal lasers. I actually thought about buying this one, but then didn't for some reason. You can make a paste with Calclosser. One day I'll be able to say that. And then you got products like Aptasia X. This is the one I'm gonna use. It's cheaper. And let me tell you, dude, I'm a fan. Look at this thing work. Why spend $400 when you can spend 16? And now with all that Aptasia X, I think the setup looks pretty good. This doesn't look good though. So we're gonna make this a tomorrow problem. I regret what I said last night. Also, it's day 4, by the way. But yesterday I left the tank looking like this. And the issue is I need it looking like this ASAP. But let's not get too worried just yet because I have just the tools to get this job done. We've got a sponge for the scrubbing, paper towels for the spillage, an actual towel for the bigger spillage and to be more environmentally friendly, and a card for the scraping. Get that algae off. But then I remembered I could use it for lunch, so we got a different card. And with all these tools, let me tell you, it was productive. You know, I started it all off by scraping the algae off the glass, but it wasn't really working, so instead, I just kept scraping the algae off the glass. That didn't really work, so I thought maybe if I drained the tank, it would be a little bit easier, but I found a way to regret that decision too. It's looking pretty good. Oh God. It's a good thing we're cleaning this. At this point, I decided to take a break from scraping and decided to start scooping, but then later found myself scraping again. So I just discovered something that I probably should have already known. I have a scraper. I could have just used this the whole time. I probably could have been done so much faster, but regardless, we've now got a clean tank. And that was day 4. I think we're ready to finish everything up tomorrow. I'm still not telling you what we're turning it into. It's a frag tank. We're making a frag tank. This is a frag tank. This is a frag. Let's get started. I got egg crate. I got some Lego pieces. We're gonna make this. The idea is we can glue the Lego piece to each corner of the egg crate and then add Legos to make the stand as high as I want it to be or as low as I want it to be. It's fully adjustable. I don't understand why I haven't seen people do this before. Okay, that makes sense now. I get it. I forgot that these guys could float. Easy solution. I'm just gonna need to figure out what to do when I take these rocks out. So there you have it, guys. We have the frag tank ready. But what is a frag tank without some frags? So let's make some frags. I've never done this before. Oh, I'm scared. With this first frag in the frag tank, we have succeeded with our 5 days of hard work to transform a nasty, neglected, old display tank into a beautiful frag tank that hopefully won't have Aptasia. And guess what? We still have 4 hours to spare before the guy who runs the LA Reef Club that I go to is gonna come visit and probably see this tank. So I'm gonna be real with you guys. I didn't film his reaction because I get kind of nervous filming in front of people. So I'm just gonna do a dramatic reenactment. I even bought a mustache just so I could pretend to be him. He doesn't actually have a mustache. I just really wanted to wear one. Okay, let me go do this. What up, man? We doing some udon for dinner? Ready for some udon.
Hello, darkness, my old...
So yeah, that was it. He didn't even notice. Sometimes it'd be like that. Also, let me take off this mustache. But you know, regardless of whether or not the guy that runs my local reef club likes my tank, it doesn't really matter. We were able to make an awesome frag tank. I'm really excited to see if I'm able to grow some impressive corals in a pico frag tank. I feel like it has to have been done for, but you know, I don't know. I've never seen anybody talk about a pico frag tank, so keep you guys updated. But given how the tank looks now, I'd say I'm pretty hopeful that a pico frag tank might actually just work. I guess we'll see.